Welcome to the Media Nut, where we crack open a variety of communication or media related terms so that you don't have to be the dumb squirrel. And I'm your host, Hannah, breaking from the city of Mumbai. In our previous episode, we took up baby steps towards understanding the term Scopophilia. Well, if you haven't heard it yet, then what are you waiting for? Go, check it right now. In today's episode, we are going to expand our learning of Scopophilia by looking through the media lens. I will introduce you to a very famous term called male gaze, which is actually the younger brother of Scopophilia. Now, since our female listeners will throw their hands at me for not remembering them, I will also talk about male gaze's sister, that is female gaze. And wait. Last but not the least, let's not forget the mother of male gaze theory, that is Laura Mulvey. Male gaze, male gaze, male gaze. When you hear this word, what comes into your mind? A male or a man looking intensely at someone or something, right? Well, congratulations! You are correct. Here is your award, and now tata bye bye. Just kidding. Your understanding of male gaze is correct. There's absolutely nothing wrong in it. But this goes on to a deeper level when we look through feminist theories and film theories. The male gaze in films actually invokes the sexual politics of the gaze and suggests that it is a sexualized way of looking that empowers men and objectifies women. So, where did this concept of male gaze come from? Or who introduced this idea of male gaze? Well, surprisingly, this was actually introduced and put forward by a female. She is a very famous film theorist and her name is Laura Mulvey. Laura Mulvey is a British film theorist who is widely known for describing the male gaze in her essay Visual Pleasure and Narrative Cinema. She wrote, "In a world ordered by sexual imbalance, pleasure in looking has been split between the active male and passive female." Well, does this mean that our great visual media plays the dirty trick of reducing female characters like you and me, who are with virtues and aspirations, just into a mere object of aesthetic value? Sadly, yes. Mulvey argued that most popular films are filmed in such a way that satisfy only the masculine scopophilia. In other words, most of the content we consume is made by a man for men. Now then, you would ask me, why is this male gaze still existing in our country and in our society? Well, sadly, it's because of the patriarchy in our society. We would see in patriarchal families wherein men are given the most importance and women are given the least importance. Men are allowed to, treat their women however they want. The aspect of respect is slightly missing. Films are just showing what is already existing in our society. Although this is a pretty late disclaimer, I just want to say, my dear male listeners, I am not targeting y'all. I am just telling you what is existing in our society. Psst. Hey, Hannah, you told that you'll talk about male gazes, sister, female gaze. Yeah. Okay. Now, After looking at so much of male gaze, male gaze, male gaze, do you think female gaze exists too? Naturally, a question arises about how men are also sexualized. Just as much as we see scantily clad women, we are also exposed to chiseled abs of men. But then, here comes the catch. Female gaze is actually not similar to male gaze, at least in films. It has been seen that this women's desire or this female gaze has been represented in films in a non-gaze related way. We could note that in a number of films or in a majority of films, the female's passionate desire or this female gaze is represented in a different form. They usually use sound and visual aesthetics such as music or a certain kind of color to express the female's desire. Now, the argument that women's desire is best expressed through sensation rather than a gaze may evoke the cliche that male desire is visual whereas women's is sensory. Now, the question stands. So, is there a female gaze? Certainly, beautiful men abound in cinema, but I would argue that there is no direct equivalent of the male gaze. Do you agree with me in this? Well, let me know your opinions in the comment box below. You can write your idea or what you think about this topic in overall or ask me any question related to this. I would love to answer those questions. I say let's end it here. Join me in our next episode where we will embark on an investigative journey to find out whether Laura Mulvey's male gaze and scopophilia still exist in the visual media of recent times. And are the waters changing? So don't miss out. Thanks for joining in and sayonara.